Do you guys remember this aquarium? Now it looks like this. And it's right behind me. This is the story of a 75-liter aquarium that I built last Christmas. And it was in the Green Aqua gallery for a month, and then we moved it to a pastoral office to my local Reformed church. I wanted to move this aquarium here so that I can take care of it on a weekly basis. It's like my own. And why did I want to move this here? Because it was meant to be here. The story of this aquarium started from Matthew 7 verses 13-14 from the Bible, which says, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only few find it." This layout was designed with that story in mind. But this aquarium has changed a lot in almost a year now. You originally have an idea, and that idea stands when you build it. But then nature takes over, as I said many times, and it will evolve, it will change, and you will change together with it. So this is a journey that leads somewhere. This is what I like about aquascaping, that you can observe and you can be part of this change. The pastor of this local church is called Boton Biro, and I've known him for many years. And my dear wife Dory and me said yes to each other in front of him 13 years ago. She's gonna kill me. I'm not 13 or 14 years ago. No, maybe 12. I asked him, "Okay, Boton, but what is your connection with this aquarium?" And he told me that this is his inner office, and he prepares himself for Sundays here. And then he turns around from his desk, which is behind the cameras, and puts his feet on this and thinks about what he's going to say on next Sunday, and actually observes this aquarium. And then he's not looking at a wall, but he has a living thing. And then he said that it means responsibility, and it reminds him that he is responsible, not only for this congregation, but for all the animals and plants that live inside these glass walls here. I think this is a very deep and very good message, and I think this is one thing that aquariums should be about. When you build an aquarium and you plant it, and we plant it fully, it has a very clean, very original look. Then it changes. Some plants will melt, will die, others will thrive. You need to replace certain things. You will introduce new plants. So everything is in motion. And I have a full list of plants that are still in there. The Eleocharis pusilla, as you see in the front, in the middle, is doing great. Ranunculus inundatus is trying to run everywhere. And then you have the Bucephalandra mini needleleaf, which is a difficult plant, and I talked about and used it in the difficult plants video a couple of weeks ago, a month ago. Well, that died off, melted, and I didn't replace it. Cryptocoryne parva completely disappeared. I don't even know where it went. I was maintaining this aquarium for a year every week, and I just don't remember where it went. I think I like this image much better. It looks mature, it looks great. It should be like that. We had zero issues with the technology, and it does its job really well, and it's quiet, as you can not hear it. And actually, if you take the AI Scaper, if you want to just check out filter for 75 liters, and you type that into the chat, and you can see that the first choice is the EHEIM Professionel 350, the premium high-end choice, and that's what we had under this tank. And then if you move to the lights, with CO2 injection you would need between 65 to 75 lumens per liter. So ideally for 75 liters you would need 5,145 lumens according to AI Scaper, and this light, the WRGB, has 6,630 lumens per liter. So this is why we decreased the light intensity to probably 60 to 70% in an app, which you can do that with this light, and it works perfectly. But when we moved this aquarium here, huge algae issues came, and we had all kinds of algae. I have no idea why. We stirred up the substrate somehow while moving it here, and what I did is I came once or even twice a week and do the water changes, clean the algae physically as much as I could, and I was making sure that everything is fine, and I just did it, and I was just praying. And after like 1 month, the algae was completely gone, and ever since that, which happened probably in February or March, since March, everything is really cool. Colorado sandine, I used it, and you remember from, if you've seen the first video about this, I glued the sand so that I can keep a steep slope. I used super glue to fix the sand in place, and it's brownish, greenish, it's not doing well. This aquarium would probably have about 2 to 5% algae risk because of these huge windows that are here, and this would be certainly considered a bright area. That's why probably we still see some algae on the remains of that sand that is glued together. Also, because we have some Corridoras panda in it, we introduced them later. Those guys, and the shrimp as well, the Amano shrimp, are working on that sand all week long. And by the time that we arrive here, you can see that all the sand is in the front. During this maintenance session, I will do everything like I always do when I come here to maintain this aquarium. So I'm going to bring this hose out to the garden, because I'm going to drain the aquarium into the garden. And then I bring the other side of this hose to the aquarium. I always start by stopping the filter first, and I clean the front glass. I always start from the top. Because of the evaporation, the water level is a little bit lower, and I'm being super careful along the edges of the aquarium next to the glue. And I'm also being very careful at the bottom not to stir up the sand and not to catch it. I'm going to probably change 60% of this water. I need to work a lot on different small parts. I have an issue with the 2 higher stems in the back, so I trim both of these and I replant them after trimming, taking the skimmer out. And then I net all the plants out, and I'm really super careful with these fish, because these fish are so brave. They're absolutely not afraid of me. The other tap on the other side is open, so when I open this, the gravity will just take out the water into the garden. I can see some algae on the in and out flows. I'm going to take the ADA spring washer so that I can clean this. I will just do it in the aquarium so that you guys see what I'm doing. For this one, I don't think that this needs to be taken off. I can just try to clean the front part of this by pushing this in just until that point. And then I'm taking the Dennerle Cleanator sponge, and very, very carefully, not to break this, I will clean the inside of this lily pipe. I'm not going for perfection because that would take too much time. And we have plastic brush, and then I clean the edges with that brush. Let me put back the skimmer, making sure that the skimmer is low enough so that when the water evaporates, it will not suck in air, because then it will be very noisy. I take this sand flattener and I will flatten the surface, and then I pull everything to the back all the way, and I will let them in a week to bring everything back to the front. Let me see if I need to trim anything. These 2 big ranunculus need to be cut. This one is very ugly on the rocks, so I start to remove the leaves that are growing inside. So these are very small changes. You will see these roots everywhere, plants everywhere, and this is the only thing that you need to do to just make small cosmetic changes. And then I take the suction hose and I will start by putting it into the water, eventually moving the substrate to get out some mom from it. Okay, so we're almost done with the water change. I gotta be very careful now because of the fish. See how fast this whole thing drained? It took me about 5 minutes, not even that much. Okay, done. I let the water come out onto that rock so that I don't stir up the substrate anymore. I just put this away and I take this, put this in, direct it onto that rock. While I'm filling the aquarium up with water, I just take the salt and I remineralize it with 2 or 3 spoons of GHKH+. And I found that I need a total of 5 or 6 spoons. We don't have a snail infestation, and many people are asking me what to do when you see too many snails. If the aquarium ecology is okay, then you will not really see many snails. You will see probably 5 to 10 snails, and you will remove them during each water change and nothing's going to happen. Quick water change, quick trimming, quick filter hose cleaning. The whole thing shouldn't take more than 35 to 40 minutes. I will fill it up more than you've seen before, the evaporation. Because of the evaporation we had probably this much water, and I will fill it up to this point. And I think this is enough. So I always let the water out of this one. And it says 111. If you have GHKH+, you should remineralize it to 150. I'm using the lean type fertilizing for now from ADA, the Green Brighty Mineral and the Brighty K. And then we have the Green Aqua Carbon. We have the phosphorus and the nitrogen from Seachem. First I take the nitrogen, I take 1 milliliter, and we do that twice a week for the depletion of nitrates. And I'm taking 2 milliliters of phosphorus. And then I'm done. There you go. Everybody is happy. I don't feed the fish because Boton likes to feed the fish. We agreed that I shouldn't touch it. All that remains to be done for you guys is to like, to subscribe, to support the channel, the video production of this channel. And thank you so much for being here. Don't go anywhere because you're going to see how this whole thing looks in just a second. Bye-bye.